What's going on, guys? Week 1 is in the books. We are set for week 2 tomorrow night. It is going to be the Texans and Bengals. Bit of a boring game to start week 2, but nevertheless, it is what it is. Last week I went 9 for 15, so I had a pretty good prediction outcome for the first week. There's a few that I probably maybe overreached on and got wrong, but you know, it was worth it. It was worth a try. But 9 for 15. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with that. I'll take that for week 1. So on to week 2. Obviously, we're starting with the Texans at the Bengals. Two pretty bad teams, let's be honest. The Bengals got shut out at home last week. And obviously the Texans, well, the Texans were just a mess. Complete mess offensively. Defense struggled in places. This game, going off week 1, is going to be a bad game, but we'll see. My prediction for this game is going to be the Bengals. I do reckon the Bengals should beat the Texans. Like I said, the Texans' offense is just terrible. And I know that the Bengals' offense was just turnover central last week against the Ravens. But, a primetime game at home, I reckon they maybe bounce back a bit better. Because the offense isn't that bad. They just played a really, really good defense. So, I'm going Bengals win to start week 2. And now on to Sunday's games. We're going to start off with the Bills at Panthers. Panthers should definitely win this one. Obviously, they handled us pretty easily, which saddens me to say. And against the Bills, who are pretty good, a pretty good team, but I don't reckon the Bills are going to do enough to put up points against that Panthers defense. So I reckon the Panthers should win that one with ease as well. Bears at Buccaneers. Obviously, this is the Buccaneers' first game of the season, and this is why I'm going to pick the Bucs over the Bears. The Bears did a really good job against the Falcons, but something tells me something ain't right with the Falcons. But I'm going to pick the Bucs. They're going to be the fresher team. They've had more time to study. Obviously after that week 1 game against the Falcons. So the Buccaneers, I reckon they should win this one. Definitely at home starting the season. I think they're going to be back home. I think they're going to be. I think they're okay to play at home now after the hurricane. So I'm not too sure about that, but either way, I still reckon the Bucs will win this one. Vikings at Steelers. Now this was a tough one. Vikings had a really impressive performance against the Saints, and the Steelers had a pretty good performance against the Browns. Although the Browns gave them a bit of a run for their money to begin with. So this was a tough one. I'm going to go with the Vikings. Just something tells me their offense just seems to be firing on all cylinders at the minute, and their defense is pretty darn good. Yes, I'm going to, the Vikings. I reckon the Vikings will do a bit of an upset here. So, Vikings win. Cardinals at Colts. This wasn't going to be a tough one because obviously now the Cardinals have lost David Johnson. He's pretty much done for the good portion of the season. However, the Colts are still without Andrew Luck, and they were terrible in that week 1 game against the Rams. Now, apparently they're going to start Jacoby Brissett. Even if they do start him, I still don't think it's going to make much of a difference. So the Cardinals, even though they've lost David Johnson, should win this game. So Cardinals win. Patriots at Saints. Now, obviously, the Monday night game against the Vikings, Saints pretty much got manhandled. And the Patriots with the shock upset loss to the Chiefs opening game of the season. I think they will look to bounce back against the Saints. I did say the Saints defense is a bit iffy, and that kind of proved my point against the Vikings. And I still don't reckon they're going to be any better after just one game. So I reckon the Saints defense could be the difference maker, depending on which the Saints defense decides to show up. But I'm going to go with the Patriots. The Patriots just have too much firepower on offense. And I know their defense was very leaky against the Chiefs, but I reckon maybe they bounce back a bit, hold the Saints, and I'm going to go with the Patriots to win. Browns at Ravens. I'm going to go with the Ravens. This seems to be a pretty obvious pick. I know the Browns did a pretty good job against the Steelers, but the Ravens should definitely handle. If they can handle the Bengals, at the Bengals, obviously now they're at home, Browns are coming into their house. The Ravens should definitely handle the Browns. I don't reckon it's going to be much of a blowout, but I reckon the Ravens should definitely win this game. Eagles at Chiefs. This was a very tough one because obviously the Eagles had a pretty good performance week 1, and the Chiefs obviously with the upset over the Patriots. Now obviously the Chiefs are at home, the Eagles on the road. I reckon the Chiefs will win again. Their offense was firing on all cylinders that opening game of the season. Their defense was pretty darn good too. Obviously they've lost Eric Berry, which is a huge loss, so their secondary could be very leaky. So depending on how that Chiefs defense recovers after the loss of Eric Berry could determine the outcome of this game. But I'm gonna pick the Chiefs to win in a very close game. Titans at Jags. Obviously the Jags were just amazing on that game against the Titans. 9 sacks, not Titans, against the Texans, sorry. 9 sacks against that terrible offensive line. And obviously now they're at home. Apparently they are going to be playing at home. I did read that yesterday. Obviously the Titans are coming in. Tough loss to the Raiders, but they held their own against a very good Oakland team. Jaguars offense still isn't good enough for my liking. I'm going to go with the Titans to win this game. Jets at Raiders. Now, obviously, I did say I reckon the Jets could go 0-16 this season, and I still stand by that prediction. So I'm going to pick the Raiders to win. This should be a fairly easy game for the Raiders, especially at home. Marshawn Lynch finally gets his first home game of the season. I think he's going to have a great game. Yeah, the Raiders should win this one. Dolphins at Chargers. Another tough game. Chargers coming off a loss to the Broncos week 1. Dolphins, first game of the season. More time to study, more refreshed. I reckon the Dolphins should win this game and maybe pull off a bit of an upset. It's going to be a tough game for the Chargers to win this one, and I just don't see it happening. So, yeah, Dolphins win. Cowboys at Broncos. Now, this is going to be one of the games of the week. Broncos coming off a pretty good win Monday night, and the Cowboys coming off a fairly good win against the Giants as well in that Sunday night game. Tough game to call. I reckon Dallas's offense is better than Denver's. But I reckon Denver's defense is better than Dallas's. Now, Dallas's defense did have a good game against the Giants, but it's whether or not they'll have another good game again. I still reckon Dallas's defense is a bit iffy. So, depending on which defense shows up or which offense shows up, I'm going to give it to the Broncos. I reckon the Broncos secondary is just that bit more better. They've got a bit more better pass rush than than Dallas. If Denver's offense can not turn the ball over, they have a really good chance to win this game. So I'm going to go with the Broncos. 49ers at the Seahawks. Now, obviously, I'm going to bring this video to you Friday, so stay tuned for that one. And then finally, the Redskins at the Rams. Rams coming off that dominating performance against the Colts, and the Redskins coming off that tough loss to the Eagles. Both teams. I reckon it's going to be a tough game, but the Redskins just don't seem to be firing all cylinders at the minute. I know if the Rams do. Jared Goff look good. That defense looks amazing. The Rams should win this one, definitely. Now on to the Sunday night football game. Primetime slot. Packers at Falcons. Falcons opening up their first home game of the season in that beautiful new stadium. But I reckon the Packers are going to upset the party. Obviously, we all know about the new stadium curse. It's very well known. Every time when that seems to happen, seem to lose a lot. I did say the Falcons don't look the same. For some reason, they seem to have a bit of a Super Bowl hangover, similar to the Carolina Panthers. They didn't look too sharp against the Bears. I reckon the Packers could easily come in this game, upset the apple cart, upset this beautiful new stadium opening. Something just doesn't seem right with the Falcons at all, so I'm going to pick the Packers to win this one. And then finally, the Monday night football game, Lions at Giants. Now, obviously, the Giants had an okayest performance. Obviously, they didn't have Odell Beckham, but their defense is still pretty darn good. The Lions, Sam Bradford's obviously worth every penny. Had a great comeback performance against the Cardinals, and that team just dominated the Cardinals in the fourth quarter. Obviously, it didn't help the fact that they lost David Johnson, but the Lions still had a pretty darn good game. Started off slow, but came back great. The Giants, Eli Manning. Now the Giants' offensive line is going to be the difference maker for me. If they can keep Eli protected, maybe open up some running lanes, because they haven't got much of a running game at the minute. So it makes their play calling a bit more predictable. But it's going to be a very tough game. But I'm going to go with the Giants. I did pick the Giants to beat the Cowboys. Fortunately, that didn't happen. But I reckon the Giants get their first win of the season, Monday night game, against a very good Lions team. I reckon they definitely step up and get the win. So, but now 15, hopefully you can do a bit better this week. But that's my week 1. My week 2 predictions done and dusted. Did you agree or disagree with any of my picks? Leave a comment below. And as always, guys, I will see you Friday for my more in-depth 49ers Seahawks video. So yeah, guys, until then, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next video.